Good evening. Welcome to discussing ATWDNH. Let me introduce our panel. Tonight we have Christine Clegg on the show. I want you all to, when you see this episode, just click on the picture with us in it, and it should take you right to where you need to be. With that being said, let's start off by defining what we're talking about tonight. The episode is about characters that are dead by word of mouth or assumption, but we never saw them die, so we don't know if they are alive or dead, and that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. As we saw last season, in Fear, people who are assumed dead or have disappeared come back to the show unexpectedly, namely Cole, Vivian, and Doug, the people from the ballpark who supposedly died with Madison. Madison from Fear the Walking Dead, last words to her children were, "I was afraid to lose the place because I thought you needed it to stay who you are right now. But you know it, no one's gone until they're gone." So let's introduce who won last week's prize. Christine, if you'd do that.
Yes, last week's winner for Joe's discussion is Chad Gann. Well done.
Congratulations. Okay, so who do you want to start off with tonight, Christine? You want to start off in Alexandria, Hilltop? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Do you want? I'm considering the big one in this one is Madison. Do we want to do her first, or do you want to leave her till last?
No, let's let everybody wait and see what happens with her.
She is my one where I'm thinking, wow, what is going to happen there? Okay, so who will we start with them?
All right, well, why don't we start with Shirley Henshaw commented, not in here. Let's see if we can't. Oh, I can't. I'll find her. Let's go to Hilltop and Eduardo, one of Maggie's most trusted allies, along with Jesus and Cal. But last time we saw Eduardo was in season 10, episode 12, Walk With Us. He was guarding the gate at Hilltop when the Whisperers attacked. Hello, Skills TWD. You're here tonight. Glad to see you. So, do you know anything about Eduardo?
Well, Eduardo, he's one of the ones that you could say, well, we saw him very involved in the fight with the Saviors, then we saw him very involved with the Whisperer War, and he was always there. Right, the last time we saw him was when a lot of them were trying to escape. Now, we didn't actually see him escape, but we haven't seen him killed either. So he definitely wasn't killed on camera. So he would be one who you'd have to say, status unknown, because we definitely didn't see him as a walker. So I don't know whether deliberately they haven't shown him because they're going to bring him back, or whether it's just, we just have to assume he's dead.
Well, I don't know. I can tell you that he's alive because Angela Kang says he's still alive. Now, if we will see him again, I have no idea. But
sometimes they say, they're definitely alive. You wonder whether they're just trying to, make us feel, okay, great, yep, we know that now, or whether they're leading to they're going to come back on the show. Because I think it'd be great if he did, if Eduardo came back. Because, he was always one who was loyal to, pledged his allegiance to Rick. Earlier in that, it was with Jesus and the Hilltop. So he was, one where you think he deserves to be still alive and he deserves to come back. And for that last season. So,
right. Yep.
I think fingers crossed. We haven't seen him killed. We haven't seen him reanimated. So, definitely a chance. But if Angela Kang has said I think he's still alive, seen him killed, I'm thinking, well, why not bring him back?
Right. Yep. Well, as long as he's alive, I guess that's all that matters. And Angela Kang. So, that has to be good enough for us, whether he ever gets seen again.
Exactly, yeah.
So let's slide over to Oceanside. I had some people asking me about Cindy, Rachel, and Jules. The last time we saw them, they were in the abandoned hospital tower with other survivors waiting on Beta and his horde to attack in Season 10, Episode 15, The Tower.
Yes.
So I can tell you that their status is unknown, but Sydney Park, who plays Cindy, told Where Is the Buzz? I can't say anything, but just know that I'm alive, y'all. So,
okay. So I've read that too, and I've thought, okay, is she just teasing us again, like the producers do, or is she actually saying, yes, I'm definitely coming back? Because, yeah, those three didn't see them die, or even to be anything to be sure of where they had gone. So I'm like, well, it's got to be a chance. And I thought, especially Cindy's character, I thought she was one that, that you hoped would still be around when, after the Whisper, when they're all able to reunite the communities. I'm thinking she's one that I would want to be back again, just because of the pivotal role that she played. So,
right.
If she had said, if the actress has said herself that, I just know I'm still alive, I'm thinking, well, that's got to mean something.
Right. Let's see here. Skills TWD wants to know whatever happened to Heath. Well, we talked about Heath last week. Let's do a little recap, I guess.
Heath?
Go ahead. Heath. You go ahead.
We think that Heath, we're almost positive that Heath has been taken to the CRM, and because we've seen perhaps his RV being used there by Anne or Jadis, and
right.
It seemed to indicate that yes, he had gone when I don't think it was one of the producers was talking about his character is still alive and he's going to appear somewhere, and so we're not sure whether is that going to be in the new series, is that going to be in the movies with Rick, because we think that Heath has gone to the same place.
Right.
So yeah. So that's, I think that is definitely, I think he's definitely going to be there in something. Because,
right.
They haven't killed him off at all. So.
Right. We know that Jadis took him out because the Jeep, because the truck was in the junk, was seen in the junkyard. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Other than that, he has to be. He was probably sent over as an A. I think he would have been an A, not a B, but an A.
Yes, that's what I think. And I think maybe, if they have kept him alive like that, and we've been told that yes, he is still around, that I think definitely that he's going to reappear. And he was a character that I think everyone, well, for me, I was just thinking, I really like him. He was just sort of, we were getting to know him more, I guess. But it was like, suddenly he was gone. And I thought, oh, well, that's a shame. But, I'm hoping that they do definitely bring him back. And what he's doing at the CRM, well, we don't know, do we? We hope that, he's still there and that, nothing terrible has happened, or that he hasn't, say, joined them as such, because, he could be like, we've seen in the World Beyond where some have left there because they've escaped, basically. Could he be one of those ones if he doesn't want to work with the CRM and what they're doing? So, that's what I'm hoping, if he's going to come back.
Right. So Skill said okay to that. Then he says, I believe Dwayne is still alive and part of the Commonwealth. Whether he's alive or dead, people are wanting Dwayne to have Michonne's arc from the comics, which is finding her daughter in the Commonwealth or wherever it is they find her whenever she is a grown up kid. So I never read the comics, so I don't know. But I don't know for sure how that works, but I know that Morgan said he saw red and never really said that he outright killed him. So, I mean,
and yes, talking about what that meant, seeing red, does that necessarily mean he was seeing blood, or he was seeing red because he was so angry and at himself, I guess, too, for not being able to protect his son from, well, he wasn't able to put his wife down. So,
right.
So he never say that Thangs died. He doesn't ever say that he put him down or anything like that. So, there's a possibility, I think, that he could come back.
Right. All right, so Teresa is saying she needs help. Her grandbabies are tearing down the house. Well, that's what happens whenever you have grandkids.
That's right.
I don't have them, and I kind of like it that way. All right, let's take a step back and let's go to the sanctuary.
Okay.
Let's look at Mark. I know that besides Dwight, he's the only one that they ever showed Negan ironing with his face. So I always wondered about what happened to him because I didn't remember. But I know that, and I just want to go real fast over this. Season 8, episode 7, Time for After. The herd broke into the sanctuary that Rick and company sent over, and Mark and Dwight were on the upper level, and Dwight pushed Mark over and killed him. So that was the end of Mark.
Yeah, I think that too. I wouldn't sort of be holding out any hope that Mark is still around. And, right. I mean, we've not seen any evidence of it. He certainly didn't come with any of the others once the Saviour War was over. He didn't sort of come to, like Laura and a lot of the Saviours who joined the other communities. So I would say that, yeah, it's pretty cut and dried. Yeah, definitely.
And then last week we were asked to look at Winnie. I know that Winnie first appeared in Season 9, Episode 14, Scars. After Daryl in the show killed all the kids and adults, Winnie cries and runs off. She's the only survivor of all those people.
Yeah.
And she's never seen again.
If you look, I remember looking it up, and they were talking. I think it was on Walking Dead Wiki fandom, and they were talking about her, and obviously all the other kids died. Jocelyn died, but yeah, she was shown, and we saw it. Her coming back, being devastated that all her friends were dead, but then she ran off, so she wasn't killed. She is definitely, I would say, fate unknown. I mean, has she survived out there? She was a kid, but
right.
If she survived, who did she survive with? What's she doing now? So
right.
if we know that she wasn't killed then, we don't know for sure that she's still around. But yeah, she'd be a character. It would be kind of cool to know what had happened to her.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even though she was made into a little psychopath, there's only so much a kid can do on their own. So
exactly.
With the time jump that they did, and the only no adults being around at the time, I put her in the not around category. But
yeah.
But I've been wrong before. Of course, like I said earlier, I never thought that those people from the baseball diamond would show up, and all of a sudden there they are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a surprise too, because I can remember thinking, "Oh, Cole," and then trying to think back to when we last see him, what was he doing, and yeah, so we would, I guess, assume that they were gone as well. So, yeah, yep. Winnie's not someone that I think that they're going to place a whole lot of emphasis on coming back. I sort of see her as a, it'd be nice, if she turned up and go, oh, Winnie, that'd be cool, but I just don't see it as being a really, really important one to bring back.
Right. Yeah. Do not see her coming back either. To be
No.
truthful about it, whenever they asked about Winnie, it was like, who the heck is Winnie? I didn't even
Yep.
remember who. That's how much of an impact it had on me. I didn't remember who it was.
No, it was sort of a little side story, but was it was quite shocking, like what those kids did, or what they were led to do by Jocelyn. But I think she's not. I don't think she's someone that they placed a whole lot of importance on, because there's very little talk about her. Even when I looked up various things, you're seeing, you can put in, is Winnie coming back? There's no interest in that. There's sort of like no one's talking about it. So I'm thinking someone that they've just sort of left as in, she ran off. Everyone just has to sort of use their imaginations what happened to her.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I don't think that she'll show up again. But of course, I've been wrong before.
Yes, true.
And then,
but
right. And also somebody asked about Beatrice, which was another person who I had no recollection of. She's one of the ones, I guess she was part of Oceanside at one time.
Yes.
I know that she's dead. The Whisperer stabbed her in the leg they were trying to walk through the walkers during the beta, when Beta brought him to the hospital. And
Yes.
the Whisperer stabbed her in the leg and what was that? Sorry.
No, you're right.
All right. She had the equipment bag, and Lydia came and picked it up and saved the day. So Beatrice is dead. So
yes, right. Yes, Beatrice is not coming back from that.
right. So let's see here. What about in Alexandria? The only other person that anybody's ever talked about was Scott. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he was one of the supply runners, and so, we saw him a lot being involved in Alexandria. I know, he has had a couple of times when he's almost was killed, like when they were trying to divert all the walkers using the car horn and all that sort of thing. He was accidentally shot and brought back to Alexandria again. And I remember this when Denise, as the doctor, was trying to treat him, and she was totally freaking out, and pretty much said to him, "You're going to die. You're going to die." And so I think then I thought, oh well, I guess he is. So many people die on The Walking Dead, but they managed. I remember Sarah calmed her down, and they were able to treat him. And then of course he continued the fight with the Saviors. He retreated to Hilltop for a bit, but returned for the last battle to Alexandria, didn't he? So then last that we saw him, he would have been at Oceanside with Michonne and taking, because she was going with Virgil in exchange for the weapons, she was going to take him to his home. That was where we last saw him. And then he was saying to Michonne, I will look after Judith until you come back. And so he was definitely alive then. So for the final Whisperer War, he was in the hospital, in the elevator. So
Yep.
we'll see him escaping down the elevator. And so, we haven't seen him die. And I think I've read in places that he is someone that could definitely come back for season 11. Because I think, I'm sure I've read it, and I think that we didn't see him die, and he was quite an important character. So I just think that he's someone who's going to come back. What do you think?
No, I don't know. He's somebody who'll to the background character, so he'll probably be around, just not, just way that one goes. Skill says they said season 11 Alexandria going to be hot next since began got exile, I heard. Then he went on to say, I hit with the on wealth or the people with the three circle because Negan been exiled. I don't know. I try not to read anything about that comes up about season 11. I don't like spoilers. That's why I never watched or read the books. As far as Negan being exiled, he walked back into Alexandria at the end and said, "I'm here." So
today, by the sound of it.
So yeah, I
haven't read that much about season 11 either. Well, there are lots of ideas and a few little things, I guess, from the showrunners, but I haven't read a whole lot yet. So yeah, Negan, yeah. So I guess he could be exiled, but I'm thinking once again they brought him back there. I think there's obviously a lot going to happen with Maggie, and I have heard people say, oh, he's going to do something to sort of redeem himself, but I don't know. I don't know whether they're going to go that way with him. We'll have to wait and see.
Right. Yep. So let's see here. I guess we'll let the people off the hook now and get into Madison, and let's see here. Madison, Travis, and Chris, because we did not see any of them get killed at all.
No. Well, we saw with Chris, he had gone, like he'd been separated. He went with was it Brandon and Luke? And, so he wasn't with his dad anymore. So we saw a flashback of him with those two. He's crashed the car and sustained an injury to his leg. Looks pretty bad. So his friends told Travis what happened and that they had killed him and because he'd been injured. So is that true though? Has that happened?
Well, first of all, you got to look at who Derek and Brandon are. They're a bunch of liars.
True.
I mean, they had no loyalty to anybody because they killed their own guy.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Real fast here, Mike says, I think Negan is here to stay too. I think he'll get the big ending. Ooh, the big ending. I think his big ending is going to be another show. I think he'll have a spin-off to another show.
Yeah. That could happen. Definitely. I mean, if they're having Carol and Daryl, I definitely think it would be good. Because I liked the episode that we saw, that sort of prequel one where we saw him with Lucille, and so I thought that was cool. So he's definitely, he's a character. Like I still haven't forgiven him in a way for what he did, but I can still see some of his redeeming qualities when I see him with the kids and how he cares for them. So yeah, it'll be a tricky one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would want him to be around till the very end.
Yeah. Teresa said, I saw Chris get shot in the head with gun by Brandon, but I'm not sure if Brandon was telling that. And Travis imagined him being shot in the head, but we do see him shot in the head. Teresa, what happened there is that what's his name? Travis went to the boys and said, where's my son? The boys tried to say something about tried lying to him, and he threatened their lives, and then the boys told him that story about him that they fell asleep. He was behind the wheel and he fell asleep, and he flipped the car and his leg was broke, and the boys shot him. So Travis killed the two boys. So that was all in a this is what happened scene, not actually seeing it happen with our own two eyes. I mean, it was a story being said. So Chris can still be alive. I mean, those two would seem to be the type. I mean, the other guy that they killed in the barn was not going to come back. He was dead already, and they were just wanting to leave. But with Chris just being hurt, they could have left him on the side of the road in pain and out of options, just out of spite, because he flipped the truck. And they could have just left him there to let the walkers go get him. That's kind of what I figure happened. But of course, that's just a silly, not just something that I've thought about every once in a while. I mean, to me, I don't think any of these three are dead. So with that, let's go to Travis. He was shot in the neck and fell out of the helicopter in season 3, episode 2, The New Frontier, and of course, he's presumed dead because we never saw him. But you know, the helicopter was right there at the treetop. It's not like they were way up in the sky and he fell out of an airplane. So I mean, he could have hit the tree limbs, and I mean people have lived with falling out of helicopters, and people have lived with being shot in the neck. So there ain't no reason for him not to be alive. But
look at more survived so many things, so it just keeps bouncing back.
Right.
I mean, Travis, he pretty much threw himself out because he didn't want Alicia, I think, to have to put him down.
Right.
So I guess he felt that he was perhaps not going to survive. But yes, they weren't up very high, and I think then I've heard discussed, well, because they weren't up that high, maybe he did die, but was it enough to stop him from reanimating? So it wasn't enough, didn't, because, I mean, we've seen them shot, we've seen all of that. If they're not killed in the right way, they reanimate. So,
right.
Are we going to see him as a walker? Probably not. But, I think it'd be great if he survived. He was such a good character. He was the one who initially, he had faith that the world was going to return as it was. He felt that this was something that they could get through, and he always saw the best in people and tried to be that sort of positive person. Of course, as time went on and he saw what was happening, and with his son, he became a lot darker. But I still think he's just a character that would be cool if he was still alive. Amazing if he was, but it's not impossible.
Right. Mike says he appreciates a character more when they get a solid send-off. I agree. I mean, I agree with that one. I mean, let's not make it ambiguous. They're either there or they're not there. So I think that they should, if they're going, I mean, they do it so that they can bring them back for story time later if they need to. That's the whole. I mean, I think that, and Teresa replied to Mike's, exactly, Mike, because all the theorizing can be crazy. Yep. Well, if we didn't have it, we wouldn't be here tonight, though.
You're right. It's good to have something like that to talk about. But yeah, everyone will always have an opinion about what they think.
I mean, I guess the showrunners want you to think, well, let's give them something to think about every once in a while. Exactly,
yes. And I'm sure that they deliberately keep us up in the air about what has happened to some characters just so there is that discussion, Right. They have no intention of bringing some of them back, but I think it's just, there's people talking and, just what like we're doing now. What's happened to them, are they going to come back? And I think some are never going to come back, but, I guess it's fun to discuss it and debate it.
Right. Well, before we get to Madison, there was also, everybody was wanting to know about the Vatos again. I know that we got a lot of new members in the past week, and they didn't get to see the show from last week. So I've been trying to, put a couple of ones in there that everybody was really asking about. And the Vatos, we'll just go really fast with them. The CDC blows up, everybody goes to see the Vatos because they want a place to crash for the night. When they get there, everybody's dead.
Yes.
Chris Hardwick asked Robert Kirkman about the Vatos one day, and he said, all dead, and that's where he left it. So, in my opinion, they're all dead.
Yeah, I think so. If we've been told pretty much, yes, they're dead,
right.
And we couldn't really see any way that any of them could have survived. Yeah, I think definitely, as we said last week, definitely got to go with it. They're no longer with us.
Yep. So let's get to Madison. Season 4, Episode 7, Close Your Eyes. She was leading a herd of walkers back into the ballpark so that the vultures had set loose on them all. I guess everything, if I remember correctly, was all on fire, and she was up against the fence, and the walkers were coming, and Alicia and brother and girlfriend were on their way on the way for crying because she was dead. So, what do you think there?
Well,
Jean?
I think Madison is a very popular one for Will She, Won't She? So much discussion on this. She always, we've been told, if you don't see a body, haven't seen someone killed, then no one's gone till they're gone. And I don't know, they seem to have deliberately not showed her dying, not showed her turning, as a way of saying, well, maybe she's coming back, or maybe it's just them toying with us. But I think that it is entirely possible that she could come back. I think the actress, Kim Dickens, when she left, I think, she's been doing other things, and so I read somewhere they said, she's a very busy person, so I don't know whether they're saying she's not coming back or once again just toying with it. But I think there's a chance, definitely. Maybe it won't be in Fear. Maybe she'll come back with the Walking Dead, and for the last season or something.
Right.
It wouldn't be entirely impossible that they do it. They cross over. I think
right.
when the episode Mother was on, a lot of people were saying, it's relating because this is an episode a lot about Alicia. So this is going to be the one where we hear about Madison, but of course it's nothing to do with her mother. So,
right.
I don't know. I think, no body, no death scene, no reanimated walker. Definitely a possibility that she can come back.
Right. Well, I got something on that, but first let's finish this over here. Teresa said, for those interested in watching that scene, you can go to YouTube and see the deleted scene of the group going to see the Vatos, and you'll see them walking through their deal, and all these people are shot in the head, and Dwayne, Daryl, and I think it's T-Dog get into an argument about the people dead on the ground. So yeah, it's a good watch if you really want to see what happened to them.
Yeah.
Okay. To finish off on Madison here, there's a few times that the showrunners, they like to tweet stuff. At one point in time this past season, they were putting out, I think it was right before Mom, in the episode before that, they put out, mute these terms on Twitter so nothing gets spoiled. They had put a whole bunch of words up on the screen, and one of the words was Madison, and the other word was Kim Dickens. And in season 6, episode 12, In Dreams, Grace is having all those dreams, and she's told in the dream that Madison's daughter, Alicia, returned to her community at the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
So, take it for what it is. She might be alive. She might not be. I mean, that dream episode was long and hard to watch because
it was hard to know. Well, obviously it wasn't real, but elements of it. Is this what they're teasing us? To make us think, yes, Madison's coming back.
Right.
I thought that. I just that. But the last I think I heard anyone say anything about it would have been, I think, November 2020. I'm sure I read something with Scott Gimple saying absolutely a chance Madison could return. I'm thinking, well, that's, it's not confirming it, but meaning that it's still out there, still a chance. Right.
So yeah, there's a chance that she's alive too. I mean, out of those three, it's the better chance for her to be alive than the other two.
Definitely.
So.
I think, yes, I would have, well, if they brought all three back, I wouldn't be totally surprised, but I think the one they're most likely to bring back would be Madison.
Right.
Not everyone loves Madison. Not everyone wants her back, but, I think she's definitely someone who they could look at. She's got there's more of a story to tell with her. She still has connection with the group, and yeah, she was the main character when you were looking at when Fear started. She was sort of the one. She would do anything. Everything she did was protect her family. So, Alicia has come so far, and in some ways, I think she's become like her mother, but almost past what her mother could do. And, so I think, it would be amazing to have a reunion between the two of them. But we don't know what's going to happen with, these bombs going off. How far is that sort of, spread? Where was Madison in relation to that? And, what are we going to look like in season 7? It's going to be totally different. Is there a time jump at all? We don't know for sure.
Right. Yep. Well, I went through all of my list. Did you have anybody else that you could think of to talk about tonight?
I can't think of it. One not. I think that's a fairly comprehensive list.
All right. Well, let's see here. Next week we are going to do watch another couple of movies. We're going to watch. If you all want to watch and discuss them with us next week, the movie is going to be House of Wax, the 1953 Vincent Price remake, and the 2005 remake of House of Wax. And I didn't know it until I started researching for the show here, that both of these are a remake of the 1933 movie, The Mystery of the Wax Museum. So
yeah, I didn't know that either until the exact same thing. I was researching it. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I was really surprised whenever I saw that both of them were remakes. I knew that the 2005 one was, but I didn't know about the 53. So it'll be interesting to watch an older movie and a newer movie and see how they compare. So
yeah.
I don't have, let's see. We've answered everybody's questions that I can see tonight. So I'll try and wrap it up and tell everybody good night. We got the 2 movies just coming up next week at Thursday the 8th at 8 o'clock.
Excellent. It'll be really good. Great to discuss those movies. I think, I love remakes because I like to see exactly how they've changed, what they've kept from the original. So it'll be really good. Yep.
All right. So, well, thanks for being here tonight, Christine.
No problem.
Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, cool. Hope to revive the grandkids.
Yep. Still have to do the grandkids.